Hi, I'm Antonio Mora. Simply put, deepfake videos are a major threat to American democracy and homeland security. Even so, government and corporate efforts are slow to come and pathetically insufficient. If you haven't heard about deepfakes, they are doctored videos produced by using what's called video synthesis technology. That technology can make people appear to be doing and saying whatever a user wants. Imagine this scenario. It is November 2nd, the eve of the presidential election, and suddenly your social media accounts are swamped with video of one of the presidential candidates making a racist comment or uttering some other outrageous statement. Imagine that it's not true, but you have no way of knowing that because it looks like the candidate and sounds like the candidate. You may have even received the video from someone you trust, a legitimate news organization, or a public official, all of whom were fooled by it and didn't take the time to confirm whether it was real. A scenario like that would make all of Russia's efforts to meddle in the 2016 election look like child's play. Imagine other possibilities. A trusted news anchor appearing to report an imminent nuclear threat on a major city, or the chairman of the Federal Reserve seeming to say he's raising interest rates sharply. The reality is that deepfake videos could be weaponized to cause panic, incite violence, disrupt elections and financial markets, allow for all sorts of fraud, and pose a serious threat to national security. This is not science fiction. While not yet widespread, technology to create deepfake videos, where you can't distinguish truth from fiction, is becoming increasingly available. And you don't need to be a professional to create a sophisticated one. Thieves are already using artificial intelligence to create deepfake audio and trick companies. Researchers at the cybersecurity firm Symantec said they have found at least 3 cases of executives' voices being mimicked to swindle their companies, in one case stealing $10 million. Deepfake video isn't far behind.
I genuinely love the process of manipulating people online for money.
See what I mean? That sure looks and sounds like Kim Kardashian. Special effects studios have been doing a version of it for years now, even bringing dead actors back to life in films. You probably saw how the Star Wars folks had Carrie Fisher acting in movies that were produced after her death. It's already proven to have other dark sides, convincingly taking the faces of famous actresses to create frighteningly realistic porn videos. Recently, a simple altered video, not even a full deepfake, of Nancy Pelosi appearing to slur her words was seen by millions who likely believed the speaker was suffering from some sort of neurological impairment.
And then he had a press conference in the Rose Garden with all this sort of visuals that obviously were planned long before. And then he had a press conference in the Rose Garden with all this sort of visuals that obviously were planned long before.
The problem is that there is no discernible way for a viewer to differentiate between a real or a fake video. And technology to detect them in advance can't keep up. Google has dedicated millions to a project to combat fake audio. Facebook recently dedicated more than $10 million to fund an industry effort to detect deepfake videos. The Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, has spent tens of millions in recent years to do the same. But none of that seems to be enough. As a professor and digital forensics expert at UC Berkeley told the Washington Post, quote, "We are outgunned because the number of people working on the video synthesis side, as opposed to the detector side, is 100 to 1. Facebook just announced this week it would ban and remove deepfakes, but that doesn't include parody or satire, and the policy is also limited to the most sophisticated misleading videos generated with artificial intelligence or high-tech editing software. That means Facebook wouldn't remove a more mildly manipulated video such as Pelosi's. Lawmakers hammered Facebook in a hearing over its new ban on deepfakes, but Congress shares blame in that it has been slow to act.
The result is big tech failed to respond to the grave threats posed by deepfakes and evidenced by Facebook scrambling to scrambling to announce a new policy that strikes me as wholly inadequate.
In any case, unless the technology prevents the deepfakes from being posted and publicized, after-the-fact detection isn't worth much. You can't put the genie back in the bottle once something has been viewed. Many of the millions who saw the Pelosi tape likely questioned her mental health and then never learned that it was all fake. A lie gets halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes. Lawmakers have become increasingly concerned about the havoc deepfakes could bring to American society, but it's unclear how far they'll go to deal with the problem. And there are legitimate concerns that overregulation could hurt U.S. competitiveness in artificial intelligence, especially in the face of the threat of China's rising sophistication in developing AI. To conclude, there's concern that it is going to take so much effort to figure out what's real and what's not that people will give up and settle into a reality apathy where they rely on base instincts, tribal biases, and impulses. Conspiracy theories may fill that void. We may end up living in a world where seeing is not believing, and where it will not be enough to be a doubting Thomas because we may no longer be able to trust our own eyes and ears.